Good evening, BQB followers and Angus. How are you this evening?
Good. A little bit chilly compared to yesterday. What happened?
I don't know, that southern winds come up southeast Queensland. It's made it very chilly, hasn't it?
Yeah, I was in shorts and a t-shirt yesterday and tracksuit and jumper and everything all during today.
I think we're expecting mid 30s later in the week, so that should be interesting.
Ugh, jeez. I,
Do you have a
so-
beer to
I do have,
sip on this weather report?
do have a beer. It's my faux lager, which is a which I poured out of my Kiza. So
Yeah,
it's
nice.
got my got my beer fridge up and running enough to pour a beer.
I saw that. It's pretty decent size. You were posting on the group.
Yeah, I think I've got six taps, and I think it'll fit eight kegs in there if I really kind of squish things up. But I've never had six kegs full at one time, so I don't know if eight kegs is going to be a problem I have to solve.
19 liters or
Yeah, 19 liter. Yeah, cornies.
40s. Yep. Yeah, lovely.
Yeah.
Well, I managed to find the Feral Biggie, the
Hey.
re-release, 6% East Coast IPA. Sorry. Um, Again, we've mentioned WA and the rebirth of Feral quite a few times. I'm just reading the blurb on the back of the can. This capsule contains an experimental animal. Compromising or breaching capsule may result in exposure to large doses of radiating tropical fruit and citrus rays, uh, enrich juicy fallout, trace level bitterness, and the eventual re-establishment of the beer ecosystem from the Feral Department of Heavy Brewing. So
What,
they're having an
what,
absolute ball by the sound of it.
what a load of bollocks.
Yeah,
I like it.
but it's fun. Yeah,
Tongue in cheek bollocks from Farrell.
and yep, it's nice. It's not super bitter the yeast, but it shouldn't be. 35 IBU, 6%. Um, yeah, there's a bit of fruit in there. It's nice. Um, yeah, that's a cracker of a beer. I can't wait to find Hop Hog and War Hog and everything being brewed by Charlotte and the team re-released. But cool to see it finally started to come over here to the East Coast. And
Nice.
yeah,
Yeah, I've never had a bad Farrell beer.
no, no, this is the rebirth of Feral. I really do think that we're going to see some really good stuff out of them, and yeah, it's exciting. So in beer news, I had Smokey and Govs are holding a lunch this Friday at Precinct Brewery on the Gold Coast. $70 for all you can eat and drink. We mentioned that before. They don't really know us, so I don't know if they'd make money. I think it would be great chats with the former head brewers of Black Hops and Currumbin Valley Brewery, with the current head brewer of Precinct, Jeremy. The whole idea is to raise money for Smokey to attend South American Brewing Comp as a judge. I think it was in Colombia or Medellin, but I'm not sure. But I think it would be really good people, lots of laughs, and maybe some tough lessons to be learnt. I won't be able to make it, but that sounds like a really, really cool event.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's in Columbia. I seem to remember a bunch of jokes about marching powder and all that sort of stuff. So I'm pretty sure it was in Colombia.
Yeah, well, spring's really sprung. Beer festivals have been on the rise. Beer Fest and Blobfish just wound up, and Crafted is a couple of weeks this weekend coming, I think.
Thanks.
Yeah, yeah. So if you can get out to a festival, I strongly suggest getting to one. Otherwise, we will lose them again. So I think there's some really good ones. You had a story about 21st Amendment Brewery in the States.
Yeah, so 21st Amendment Brewery in the US is closing down after 25 years of operation. So a couple of their beers that I've always wanted to try but have never managed to get them. Hell or High Water is a watermelon infused beer and monk's blood. Um, probably two of their more famous beers, and then they had a bunch of brewing series. Yeah, it seems the two owners have stepped away from the business and they brought a new CEO in, and then a week later, the company that was funding them, that was financing them, has said there's no more funds to be had. Um, and after you kind of read that, I think it was the last 3 years they've dropped 20% in sales every year, and yeah, COVID really knocked a lot of their national distribution partnerships around. So yeah, they've got left with no choice but to close down, which is a shame. They're one of the more famous breweries from the late '90s, early 2000s, and of the US craft beer boom. So
Yeah, I've
bit
definitely
of a
heard
shame to
of
see
them,
them
but
go.
I don't think I ever tried any of their beers.
No, they never didn't. They didn't distribute to Australia. There was some people bought some in, like, schlepped them in backpacks and things, but yeah, they never distributed to Australia.
Yeah,
But
every
yeah,
time I have a friend going to the States, I always see if they can get some Pliny for us. Yeah. So Manchild Brewing in Tasmania, a really interesting name. Is holding a festival named George to fund the start of their brewery, labeled as a different type of crowdfunding. Not sure how much will be raised, but I like the innovation. Um, Joe has already got the brew kit, and he's just looking for bigger numbers than that attended the event last year. It was 1,400 came last year and 600 the year before, so it's definitely growing. But this is the last swing to raise money to get the St Helens brew site going in Tassie. George Festival is October the 4th, so um, it's an interesting way to get funds to do a brewery. You've already got a brew kit, um, but yeah, don't know about the name. Manchild is different.
yeah, it's an interesting name, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's kind of fun names generally don't seem to last all that long. I don't know.
Mm. And you had Sydney Brewing purchase the site lease and brewing equipment of White Bay.
Yeah, well, yeah, they purchased the all the assets and the ongoing lease for the current premises in Rozelle. So the venue is right on Sydney Harbour, and it's right next to the new fish market that's going to open. So it sounds like a really great location for a brewery. I mean, sitting on Sydney Harbour anywhere, having a beer is pretty special. Uh, certainly one of a kind waterfront in the world, Sydney Harbour. So you'd think it'd be hard to go wrong having a brewery right down there.
Mm.
Yeah, and so White Bay are looking to consolidate back to their main Melbourne venue.
Yeah,
Yeah,
With the Hawkers partnership. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I don't know if you remember, but Sydney Brewing tend to enter a lot of beers into the Queensland Beer Awards. I always see plenty of their kegs coming through when I'm stewarding there. Um, so
I think
their beers are always good quality and well made. So I expect that new venue is going to go pretty well.
I
And
think their Pilsner took out the champion beer 3 years ago. I think.
yeah, that rings a bell.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they
It's interesting. Like White Bay, with the rebranding, the sponsorship of the Sydney Swans and all that. I thought the joining of them with Hawkers was interesting, but to scale up makes sense. But like you said, with the site there near the new fish markets, it seems really odd that they're moving away from that. But um, like scales of economy, definitely with Hawkers makes sense. I just hope that they can still sponsor the Swans and still be that Sydney brewery. So yeah,
yeah. So for Sydney Brewing, that marks another venue purchase. Early in the year, they took over Rock's Brewery in right in the middle of Sydney, and
yeah,
I think I think that one's very close to the Harbour's Edge as well.
yeah,
Rock's
yeah.
Brewery.
I think Rox is over on the east side of the bridge, closer to sort of Circular Quay. I think that's, but I could be wrong. I haven't lived in Sydney for 25 years, 30 years. Not saying how old I am, but yeah,
Yeah, so another brewery that seems to be bucking the current industry trend and expanding across multiple venues.
yeah. Oh well, good on them. Like you said, they've when we've had them at the Royal Queensland Beer Awards, they've always done really well when they've come up and put a couple of beers in. They've always been really solid contenders. So
Yeah.
yeah, good luck to them.
And they send their beers up in 20-litre kegs as well, which is nice for a steward. You have to hoik around 50-litre kegs.
Yeah, makes sense too. So I had Coopers are releasing their Australian lager in 440 ml cans for a limited time. If you haven't tried it, I thought it was a cracker of a lager. The big aqua cans, I think they'll do well. They're not can conditioned like a lot of the other Cooper's products, but yeah, I think it's a cracking beer and for that everyday sort of beer. I also had Great Northern is dropping their ginger beer to 3.5% in 330 ml cans to match similar products on the market. Uh, I really question these so-called ginger beers, but you've probably heard my ginger beer rant before. I think there really needs to be uh, some some designation of what actually is a ginger beer and what's a ginger beer or ginger flavored product. It irks me, but um, one thing that consumers don't like is shrinkflation as well as ABV dropping. So I don't know how that'll work unless it's priced really sharply. We'll see how it is. You said you had some stories here about BrewDog,
Yeah, so I've kind of been following this for a little bit, but there's a couple of big articles in the UK, and seems like they're really starting to hit some financial problems. So they're closing 10 of their own pubs down, including the flagship bar in Aberdeen.
which is crazy.
And yeah, and their beers have been dropped from nearly 2,000 pubs throughout the UK. So
And
yeah,
both owners
trouble
have
and
stepped away now too to do their own
yeah,
thing. Yeah,
yeah, I was going to mention that as well.
yeah.
So trouble and criticism have always been part of BrewDog's history, and I think that was actually part of their marketing strategy as well. Um, kind of the punk IPA thing, various kind of publicity stunts. Some of those, I remember this big hoopla about the end of history, 55% ABV beer that was sold inside a taxidermed squirrel.
Saw it,
So
didn't try it, but saw it. It's not really a
I
beer.
remember,
Yeah, but yeah,
remember one of the Babs guys said that he got given like a tiny little bit of it, and he said it was wretched.
yeah,
So that
yeah.
was a freeze dried, freeze
Like a,
frozen beer and
like an ice box. Yeah, yeah,
ice buck. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. He said it was pretty wretched. Tactical Penguin, another one of theirs, getting in at 32%. Never mind the Anabolics, a beer they launched during the 2012 English Olympics, and it was never actually said whether it was proven or not. But when they released their Elvis juice, apparently got a cease and desist from the Elvis Presley estate in the US. So
Mm,
the owners legally changed their names to Elvis to try and kind of add some more weight to being able to
yeah,
sell it as Elvis. But I couldn't find whether that was actually proven or not, or just
yeah.
kind of a rumor.
They did do it by depot. The Michael Jackson estate was chasing them. I think that's how that came about. But yeah, they've never been at the end of controversy with all their, um, you know, raising funds and pushing the norms. Even in Australia here, when they got the funding to do the pub here in Brizzy, um, they got $20 million from the state government, and then it's ended up being half the size they said it would be. And now they've got a really interesting model in Australia where AVC, which owns all of the Coles pubs, um, actually run the BrewDog satellite venues. The one at Pentridge Prison apparently is really cool. Um, so that's a different, hospitality way of doing it. But I don't know if the equity for punks are ever going to see, a return on what they've invested into the brand. With the two owners stepping out, I don't know. It might be the end of BrewDog. I think it's okay here, the version of BrewDog in Australia. I loved Elvis Juice when I first tried it. I loved Punk IPA when it first had it's Punk XPA in Australia now, but um, there's they still make quality beers here. And I visited when I was in the UK a couple of years ago. I visited a couple of the BrewDog pubs there, and great venues. They spruik that they give profits back to the team. I don't know. There was another controversy there that half the profits of the venue would go back to the team, which I don't think ended up happening. There was some stuff with that as well. So yeah, interesting.
Yeah, that was another rumor I was reading about, was that whole profit sharing program never got off the ground, even though they said they hadn't done it.
Yeah, they had to
And
hit
that
certain parameters that were never hit, and that's why they. Yeah, I don't know. It was all a bit dodgy.
yeah, and that's BrewDog, right?
From the sound of it, yeah. And you said there was like fear-based treatment and bullying of staff, and uh,
Yeah, kind of all that kind of all those rumors as well. What was the group? Punks for something. That group of ex-employees started up a group. I can't remember what it's called, Punks for something.
mm,
And so they'd been talking about kind of the toxic work culture and bullying, and
yeah,
how female staff were given advice on how to avoid unwanted attention from James Watt in the bars, and so
yeah, that's not a good sign, is it?
wasn't a great picture.
No.
Yeah,
And then they did the hotel somewhere where you can get like shower beers. It's got a fridge in the shower, So there's some fun stuff there. I don't know. They took over the favorite brewery I've ever been to in Stone Berlin. They took over that and plonked a big fluorescent shipping container in the middle when Stone moved out. So I don't know how that venue's going, but anyway, we'll see what happens. It's probably going to be watch this space for BrewDog, I think.
yeah, I think so.
Well, the last one I've got in beer news is Padre Beer Co. in Miami. Um, if you jump onto the Instagram page, you will see how much money, work, and effort has gone into their new brewery. Um, I think tanks have just gone in. They're redoing the path. They should be open. Well, they might be open before Christmas at this rate. I love their branding and their merch. It really reminds me of the old American baseball team of the same name. Head brewer Mitch, who's currently at Black Ops, he's brewed under the Padre name before. He had a tap takeover at Zapickle, I think, to test the market and recipes. And I just think the commitment of absolutely stripping this venue they haven't taken over a brewery. They've done it from scratch. Um, it's a huge effort in tough times, and I really hope it works for the whole crew down there at Padre in Miami.
Yeah, that's some courage to start a completely brand new venue.
Oh, and
Probably hard to find an existing venue when they're all getting bought up by existing breweries, though.
yeah, and not take over someone else's brewery and buy their equipment and do it that way. They've done it from scratch by the look of it, and uh, yeah, scary. And yeah, the last bit of beer news I actually had is you've seen all the beer advent calendars are starting to be advertised. Um, do we think the fad is over, or do you think people still get excited about the advent calendars?
I've never bought a beer advent calendar in my life, so
There you
maybe I'm
go.
the wrong person to ask.
Well, I've done a few, and I used to remember like the Carwin one where all the socials would be don't post it until 7 o'clock. You don't know what you're getting. I think it was the beer cartel one a few years ago. they said don't drink the 25th one because it's re-fermented. It was an imperial eggnog stout from Black Hops. They said whatever you do, don't drink it. And I think every single person drank it. Then you just had to open it over a sink because it had re-fermented. So uh, I don't know. I
Oops.
think I know Mountain Culture got in trouble not last year, the year before, I think, because the first beer in their quite expensive pack was a Smirnoff Ice, so it wasn't a beer at all. And
Oh, jeez.
yeah, people were a bit cranky about that one, but it was like an ongoing internal joke. So um, yeah, look, it's sometimes it's a bit of fun. I think the quality isn't what it used to be. They're definitely getting up there. They're nearly $200 for an advent calendar. Some of these ones now. I don't know. Might be a good early Christmas present for a beer loving person, but yeah, we'll see what happens. The one I usually get now is the Bridge Road one. At sort of Bridge Road and Friends. It's pretty good, and you're going to get up with they've got the magical unicorn Christmas beer and the was it Fat Man Big Sack,
Big Fact, yeah.
yeah, whatever that one is, and that's a cracker of a beer for Christmas. So um, I don't know if they'll do it this year, but yeah. So in non beer, United We Ride. So you would have seen from our pictures, we did the United We Ride last weekend. Um, Yourself and I joined 130 riders and raised nearly 10k. With Australia and New Zealand looking at nearly 250,000 raised for the salvos for the event. We had some happy laps out at Queensland Raceway, and we definitely quotation marks for those not watching on screen kept to the speed limit. So I thought that was fun. It was a really good event.
Yeah, it was good fun. I enjoyed the laps on Queensland Raceway. That was cool fun. Yeah, I was saying to you during the ride, with 130 bikes, I think 127 of them were all Harleys. And there were points where I couldn't hear my own bike when I was sitting on it. Like there's one set of lights, so I was looking at my tacho to see on my reservoir when I was taking off it because I just couldn't hear anything.
Yeah, loud pipes save lives. Yeah, you had to look at your tacho to see if your bike was even on. We
Yeah,
we did
yeah,
we
I could.
did we did make a bit of noise. I'm glad to say my bike wasn't the loudest, but it usually is pretty good. But yeah, look, it was a fun day. Obviously, not everyone there's ridden in groups before because we all got split up and traffic and everything like that. It started all right, but it sort of got a bit messy. But it's more of a social thing. So, but yeah, like you said, the 35 of us who got to do laps on QR, that was fun. Even though some of them they went a bit hairy, but yeah, yeah. At least your brakes work. You know that now, and your tires have been
Yeah,
run in.
yeah, yeah. Rubbed my tires in. Yeah, took kept it pretty calm for 4 or 5 laps, just getting further and further over on the tires before I started putting some speed through the corners. I didn't want to be the one guy that bins his bike.
Yeah, yeah. None of
Yeah,
us
that was
wanted
good fun.
that. And I did find an image of you, although you have called out bikist. I did find an image of you in the background. Um,
Very fun in the background.
yeah. No, you were there was what was there? There was a Yamaha. There was a Hayabusa. Um, there was a triple Triumph triple there. So okay, that's three. So, yeah. F1.
Good
So
stuff.
McLaren caused controversy by swapping Piastri and Norris after Norris had a slow pit. I didn't really like the call, but they wanted the order to stay the same as it was before the pits to try and keep Leclerc behind. It really feels like Oscar is not the favourite in the team. I think this is going to get nasty before it finishes the year. Verstappen had a really good race with the new team principal, Laurent. Um, he he really seems to be attacking issues from a technical direction. and apparently Max is loving that. Next race is Azerbaijan, and Oscar and Charles do really well at. So as long as they can dodge some Israeli bombs if there's in that area, I think it'll be a cracker of a race.
And Vasco can dodge team orders as well.
Yeah, Team Papayas seems to yeah not be doing well. So I think they're playing happy families for the media, but yeah, you had
How many points is Oscar in front?
31 points now.
31.
Yeah, so if he has a DNF and Lando wins, that brings it down to 6 points. So there's still a bit in that. Yeah. You had the Wallabies up against the Pumas this weekend.
Yeah, so the second test that Argentina and Australia are playing. It's in oh gosh, Sydney. It's already sold out.
Oh,
So
that's
that's
good.
good news for rugby. I think
That's
they're
great.
selling out stadiums. Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, so there's a few names in, a few names out from last weekend, a couple of injuries. Nick Frost is out with a back injury, so he's one of the second rowers, and that's a shame because he's just an absolute menace in the lineouts. He was stealing so much South African ball and Argentinian ball, so I think we're gonna miss that.
Yeah.
Um, Jeremy Williams is his replacement, so he's got a bit of bulk and he loves the physical stuff. So I guess we don't lose that, but the lineout efforts that Nick does, we'll be missing that. And James Slipper is back in, and Tom Robertson is out. I kind of question Slipper still being in the squad. Um, I don't think he's going to make the 27 World Cup. I don't think
Yep.
it will last that long. And it'll just be great to have Tom Robertson and a few of the other younger props getting some experience against these international teams, and especially later on when they tour through the UK. I think that'd be a real benefit to get those young kids propping down against those British front rows.
Yeah.
And we've got Lucan Salakai Lotto back on the bench, which is awesome. He's a menace as well around the field. So I look forward to some big hits from him, some big runs.
I
He's
was going to
he's
say
good to watch.
he's a solid bloke, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a big boy and real solid and similar to Artie Sevilla, he does not like to be stopped.
Yeah.
He does everything he can think of to keep making centimeters, millimeters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like some of the
yeah,
people you've played against with your shoulder.
yeah. Oh, well, I didn't move Trevor millimeter, mate. I'll get to that, but I've got a rugby festival this weekend and Trev's playing, so I'll just have to, I don't know, stay on the other side of the field or something.
Just shake his hand and say, um, "Not this time, please. I need my shoulder for Christmas."
Um, yeah, just finishing the Wallabies. I think for the Wallabies to compete, they're gonna have to really take care of their discipline. They just gave away so many penalties last game. Just easy meters for the Pumas. They just punted it downfield. So if they want any chance of winning, they're gonna have to really clamp down on silly decisions and offsides and whatnot.
Yeah, definitely. So your
Yeah,
last
and like
weekend.
like I mentioned, this weekend is our last rugby. It's a festival on in the north side. So we've organised a beer bus to leave from the south side and take us all over the north side. So there'll be a couple of pre-game beers on the way up, and plenty on the way back.
Yep.
Apparently, I've been told we'll be watching the Australia Pumas game um, after we finish up the rugby because I think they're playing at the same time we are.
Yep.
So we're watching a replay of that game after we finish up.
Yeah,
So that should
nice.
be good.
Yeah. Oh well, I had a little bit of cricket news since we're getting into the warmer season. I thought it was really surprising to see um, the the teams now sponsored by Westpac. Um, the Commonwealth Bank has been sponsoring the Australian cricket for absolute years, But that means Westpac now have the men's and women's teams in all national formats of cricket, and they also have both rugby league state of origin teams. So if you're banking with Westpac, at least you know where some of your interest rates are going now, because they're spending so much money on sports sponsorship. It's really quite interesting. But I'm really looking forward to the Ashes. I really like Test cricket. That's my favourite. I love the 5 day game. Not that I don't like the shorter formats, but I just think we're getting too much of the shorter formats, and the results are really getting swung quite skew if. So and not only that, you can't watch it all because each competition usually has a different streaming platform. So you can't watch, this series because it's on this channel and this series is on another channel. So I'm just really looking forward to free to air 5 day test matches and definitely the Ashes. And
Yeah, I reckon this Sasha series is going to be very spiteful.
yeah,
I reckon it's going to we're gonna see some things.
yeah, I'm so like we mentioned the day the tickets were released for Perth, which is the first game, the sold out in the first day at Perth Stadium. So yeah, very very looking forward to that. Yeah, Brisbane I think's got the second test. And my last sporting news is the rugby league finals. Since my team didn't make the eight, which is good normally, they didn't get the spoon. Um, it's not always exciting when your team doesn't make the finals, but I actually like the fact that Canberra and Canterbury are up the top. Um, they've been battling for 20 years, um, or Canberra especially. Um, yeah, it's good to see them. I like to see some sort of underdog teams. I'd be stoked if Canberra could take it out. They've got some great players and a really good morale there. So yeah, that's my 2 cents anyway.
Yeah, I haven't watched League in a while, so I have no comment.
No comment. There's we've got an ex Union capped player playing for the Roosters now. They call him Marky Mark because they can't pronounce his last name, and neither can I.
It is
Um,
a bit of a mouthful.
but
Nawakana Tawase.
that's him, and his his playing is just amazing. You know,
He's a freak.
he's an absolute freak. I don't know
Some
how
of the
we
things
got
he
him
does.
over from Union. The way he floats in the air to catch, like he, line out practice, obviously. But his skills is just brilliant, and yeah, that's an absolute score for rugby league to get him. It's he's a cracker of a player, and I wish him the best for the future. It's really cool to see him play.
Yeah, some rumors floating around that Australian Rugby are going to throw him some big dollars end of next year. I think he's contracted to the end of 26 to get him for
Yep,
the World Cup.
yep,
I hope they don't. Yes, he's an absolute freak of a player,
yep.
but I hope they don't throw a bunch of millions at him to get him over
Well,
for the World Cup.
that's what they did with Joseph, and he's doing well, but um,
He's improving. Yeah, he's getting there.
yeah, I think the code change is a lot harder than people think. I think league to union is a bigger change from union to league, just from what I've seen from a lot of dual internationals. Um, yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I played league and union when I was young,
yeah,
and I think, and certainly even more so now, I think union is much more technical.
yeah.
Like the scrums, you got nothing like lineouts in league, so that whole set of skills league guys don't have.
I know.
And I think the main fact is that like in union, there's no stop and start. Like
No,
there's a
it's
tackle,
continuous.
you've got to compete for the ball to get it back, and then you're off again.
Phase
So
two,
you could
phase
be,
three, phase four. Yeah,
yeah, you can get up to like phase 20, phase 25, phase 30. That's pretty extreme fitness and execution of skills over and over and over to maintain that ball that long. So
I know I played a couple of union games when I was younger, and it's a lot rougher. I mean, I get sprigged on when when you're in the ruck, and um, oh, what is it dirtier? No, it's rougher. It's tougher. Um, it's less clean. Like you said, it's continuous flow on. Yeah, just different games. Each have really good aspects in their own rights. But I definitely would prefer to play league than union.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Um, and I don't think I could do either at this stage. Anyway, I might get an Islander related injury.
look at it. Yeah,
Alrighty.
well, I'll be doing my best to avoid that this weekend. I'm actually going to play in white shorts this weekend,
Yep. So they take it a bit
which
easier
means
on you.
take it a bit easier. Yeah, so they'll tackle to the kind of level that I'm running the ball up.
Yeah. I still think that's a
So
great. I think that's a really good system. Yeah.
that's it's awesome because you got guys there that wouldn't be able to play
Yeah.
and they can play, and it's not like the point of it isn't to play rugby and score points and win. The point is to get out in the field and just have a laugh and have some beers afterwards.
Yeah.
And rugby is just kind of the way to get people out of the house and do it.
It's a
Yeah,
team playing sport, mateship, having a bit of fun, yeah, having some tackles, watching some people do great stuff and applauding them. Yeah, yeah. It sounds like a really good system. Well, you do well. Don't get hurt, and I will see you next week. And thank you for all of our listeners. Um, Pod's doing well, and if you've got any ideas, thoughts, shit posts, sponsored beers, yeah, we're happy to take.
I would take anything.
Yeah, yeah, we're easy. Don't tell everyone. Cheers, Angus. Have a good night.
All right, thanks, Luke. See you, everyone.
See everyone. Bye.